So we will be discussing from Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 4, Transcendental Knowledge, text number 4. So we have heard up till now that Lord has told that this knowledge was spoken by him to Sun God, and then it was this volume is low. Is it low for everyone? Hare Krishna. Is it okay? Okay. Who is saying volume is low? Durga Chaudhary Mataji. Okay. Please check at your end, as we have discussed in Hindi. There's some problem with the instrument. My instrument also is a little bad, I understand, but it should not be that low. So everybody is saying, okay, so your instrument must be having some trouble. So we have discussed that Lord Krishna has spoken this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, which is very confidential to Sun God. Yavasman, who gave it to Manu, his son, and Manu spoke it to Ikshvaku, and in this way the Rajarshis have received this knowledge. So the lesson which we have learned is that this knowledge has to be received in parampara only, and as it is formed, only then it will be effective. This was the main point of emphasis. Now obviously, Krishna is of equal age to Arjuna. So then naturally, not Arjuna, but others. Arjuna was knowing that Krishna is God. But others might object. They may raise the same objection. Are to unhi ki umar ka hai? Krishna is at the same age as Arjuna. How he can speak the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Sun God? So in order to clarify their doubts, Arjuna is asking this question. Very easy to understand. Just like if I say I gave this Bhagavad Gita class in 1920, you will be saying, आज लग रहा है गले के संग दिमाग भी खराब हो गया है. Your throat is bad and it seems your दिमाग also your intelligence is also bad. How can you give class in 1920? And even if you have given class in 1920, how can you remember it? So those are the things which are objectionable. When Prabhupada says a lecture on this, he says the same point. That Swamiji, he says that suppose if I say that I have given this class to whatever, Sun God, then he will say, how? Swamiji, it seems you are mad. Prabhupada says like this. So that is a natural objection which others might raise. So in order to clarify, Arjuna is asking this question. Please chant after me. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma. To hold the mic a little closer. Param janma vivasvatah. Katham etad vijaniyam. Tamadau proktavaniti. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavato janma. Param janma vivasvatah. Katham etad vijaniyam. Tamadau proktavaniti. Please chant.
Arjuna Uvacha Aparam Bhavato Janma Param Janma Vivasvatah Katametad Vijaniyam Tvamado Proktavaniti.
Sanskrit is very easy. Arjuna Vacha, you answer. What is the name? Arjuna said. Some of the things I'll explain. Aparam bhavato. Param means superior. Aparam means inferior. Your aparam bhavato janma. Bhavata means your. So Arjuna says your birth is inferior. Inferior in the sense you are born later. You are the same age with me. Aparam bhavato janma. What is the meaning of this word? Your birth is of inferior in terms of time. You have been born with me or of the same age as with me. Param janma vivasvatah. Vivasvatah means of the Sun God. The Sun God's birth is param, is much before, superior. Katham etad vijaniyam. How? Katham is how. Etad, this. Vijaniyam, am I supposed to know? It's very. Can you switch this word that side? Is making some feedback. Arjuna is asking question in a very decent way. He is not challenging Krishna. And Prabhupada translates it in a very nice way. How am I to know? मैं कैसे समझूं? How should I understand? He does not challenge Krishna. So be very sensitive to the language which is being used by Arjuna. And he also used very respectful language. Bhavatah. Bhavat also is like in Hindi say aap. And very respectfully he's known because he knows Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he has full faith in the words of Lord. So he's asking, you are correct. But how am I to understand? Are you able to understand these things? When we challenge, we don't first say you are correct. We say you prove yourself correct. Are you able to understand these things? A very, very important point. In disciplic succession also, we can present doubts. But the way we are supposed to present doubts is being showed by Arjuna. The protocol, understand? Protocol samajhte hain? Rules and regulations, how you are supposed to put the question before the spiritual master is being shown by Arjuna. He's not saying directly, hey, kaise bol rahe ho aise? How are you able to speak this? I think it's like this. You think in my opinion is like this. No. This from this he's saying this is I can see you are born or you're of the same age as me, same age as me, and Vivaswan is superior to you in terms of age. This is very drisht, this is very visible to me. Are you able to understand? This is visible to me. How am I able to understand something which you're told is not visible to me? I'm not able to understand. Means he's not saying that you are wrong. I'm repeating the same point. He is not saying that Krishna is wrong. How am I able to understand? There is fault in my understanding. You please make me understand. Help me to understand these things. This is how we understand spiritual knowledge. This is very, very important shloka. A very, very important siksha also. Tvam adau proktamaniti. What you're supposed to understand, what you want to understand says Tvam, you, adau means in the beginning, proktamaniti iti means this knowledge you spoke earlier. How am I able to understand? Are you able to follow the whole shloka? I think word meanings you can read at your own end. We are trying to go a little faster. You can understand what we are speaking here. Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. Param Janma Vivasvataha. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him? So very clear? Gita Bhushan commentary. Arjuna then spoke to defeat the ignorant people who doubt the omniscience and eternal nature of Krishna. So did you catch these 2 points? Arjuna's question is addressing these 2 doubts about Krishna's personality. What are the 2 doubts? Krishna knows everything. Does Krishna know everything? And is Krishna is eternal? Now you see, many people have asked you or might have objected to you that Krishna appeared 5,000 years back. He was not before that. So why should we worship him? Have you ever encountered such objections? Yes. And they also doubt Krishna's omniscience, because in that way say, this Bhagavad Gita is so nice, it cannot be spoken by one person. Well, you must remember that one person is God. And that they don't accept. So this will be brought about this from the answer of the Lord. These 2 points, these 2 qualities of Krishna will be manifested by the answer to this question. So this question is very profound. Or is this sanguine? Is the word sanguine? I won't use difficult English, but Hindi is itself enough when I give classes. That's too tough Hindi. I would say very deep and important, relevant question about Krishna. You must remember the coming shlokas, Krishna will say, anybody who understands the transcendental nature of his activities and action and birth becomes liberated. So this shloka reveals the transcendental nature of the Lord. Do you agree? Omniscience and eternal nature of Krishna. And it will also bring about the point that living entity is also eternal, but it is not. He is not omniscient. We are not omniscient. We are also eternal, but not omniscient. Can you pick up how Krishna is omniscient? Because he still remembers what he spoke to Sun God. I exactly don't remember what did I speak yesterday. I don't have to see my recording of my lecture. And obviously, when I don't remember, then you understand. The listeners definitely don't remember. If they can remember that we have discussed Bhagavad Gita yesterday, that will also be commendable. That's the nature of Kali Yuga. We are all same category. How am I to understand that you who have been recently born, aparam janma? So I was talking about superior and inferior in terms of the timeline of taking birth. Not that Krishna's birth is inferior, just timeline. Timeline samajhte hain? Timeline, what happens one after another. So Surya God was before, now you are recently born. Spoke this yoga to the ancient Vivaswan who was born before you, which is called Param Janma. I think this is very clear. The meaning is this: it is not that Arjuna does not know that Krishna is the Lord of all, because Arjuna appears in this world with a form similar to that of Krishna. He is Nitya Siddha. So, this is a very important point. Arjuna's body is also transcendental. Sachidanand. How is it possible? Have we not heard in Bhagavatam that Naradji's body is also transcendental? Yes. And it becomes visible in this material world also by his own sweet will? Yes. You know, so many people. Even Brigari could see Naradji. Completely unqualified person could see Naradji by Naradji's will. So by Lord's will, his eternal associates whose body is transcendental also become manifest in this world. Okay. When Krishna appears in a human form, could you adjust to this what I spoke? Even Sanatan Goswami is very, very bewildering. Sanatan Goswami had boils over his body. And Mahaprabhu himself says, your body is fully transcendental. Then you say, transcendental body, then how boils are there? By Lord's arrangement. So that outside people become bewildered. And we have discussed that also in several cases, how Dhruv Maharaj's body became spiritual when he went to Vaikuntha and all that. So when the eternal associates come, their bodies are transcendental. That's what we can understand. When Krishna appears in a human form, so then they appear also. And because Arjuna says, Param Brahma Param Dhama, he speaks this in 9th chapter. You are the Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Form. That means Arjuna was very much conscious that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. For him, there is no doubt. He asks the questions to remove the doubts of ignorant person concerning the omniscience and eternal nature of the Lord. Okay? Very easy to understand. These doubts arise because Krishna appeared in a human form and was born from Devaki. So now the note is very nicely given. If he is human, he cannot be omniscient. These 2 points, these 2 qualities of Krishna, how they become covered over by his Leela. In the sense, when the people don't understand the tattva of Krishna and only see his Leela or discuss his Leela, then what is the difficulty? They think that he's born from Devaki. So he's a human being. If he's a human being, then how he can know everything? No human being can know everything. And if they believe that he was born from Devaki, then how he can be unborn? I just mentioned the doubt of the common people. 5000 साल पहले Krishna आए हैं. Krishna is born only 5000 years ago. His worship also was not there before. And it's amazing that Bhagavatam talks about Amrish Maharaj, who was in Satyuga. Sakrit Manah Krishna Pad na. Sakrit Manah Krishna na. Savay Manah Krishna Padar Vindayo. It's mentioned there Krishna. Then he was in Satyuga, so Krishna is always there. Parabrahma Narakriti. He is Supreme Person or he is Supreme Brahman in the form of human being. He is not a human being. Was these points are getting clear? So why people have doubts that Krishna is omniscient? What is the answer? What did you learn here? Because they think he's a human being. And because he appeared in a human form, not as a human being. And why do they think that he's not eternal? Because he was born from Devaki. So these are the doubts which have to be clarified. The Lord knows the truth about himself, but others do not. Why? What is the answer? We are not omniscient. This is one answer, which is good answer. What else? Very simple. Because we are born after him. Simple. Simple, is it not? You can know about your father only through the father because you're born after him. So everybody in the material world is born after him. In a very simple answer, but as you're saying is correct. Lord is infinite and nobody can know about him fully except himself, he himself. So unless he tells himself about himself, people can't know. So then say, who are you, Shri Krishna Das ji speaking about Krishna? I am repeating the words of Krishna. We don't change anything. Take it. Therefore, from the lotus mouth of the Lord, the real nature of his form and birth should be revealed for the benefit of the world. What is the benefit of the world? Which is indicated that they will not take birth again. Janma kacham. Thus, when the Lord speaks of his own glories, he should not be criticized as displaying conceit. Are you able to follow the theme? Rather, he should be praised for having a merciful nature. Can you connect these lines with the previous statements? When the first of all, what are the point we said here? Unless Lord speaks about himself, we can't understand. Point number one. And when he speaks about himself, people will know about his transcendental nature, by which the world will be benefited. So this, because the world will be benefited, and unless Lord speaks about himself, we can't understand him. धारण कर पा रहे हैं या नींद आ रही? थोड़ी थोड़ी तो आ रही होगी, नहीं? राइस नहीं फूल रहा पेट में. So some people criticize Krishna. Why does he call himself God? But he's not. We have discussed this point. What should Krishna call himself? Software engineer, lawyer, doctor. What he should call? Jiva. Should he tell? Then you will say Krishna is telling untruth. झूठा बोल रहे हैं Krishna. So Krishna always speaks truth. So Krishna has to speak the truth, and when he speaks truth, that is his highest expression of mercy. Because unless he speaks, the living entity cannot know Krishna. All the forms of the Lord are merciful, but when they appear, they not necessarily speak. Not necessarily. And normally they don't speak much also. Like Narsimhadev speaks, but not much. Mostly he does operation, surgery. It doesn't speak much as such. And also, we don't, at least from Bhagavatam, we don't hear Barahadev speaking so much or something like that. Arvinder Singh ji, put plain backgrounds, don't disturb me. So I'm just saying that be in this universe only when you hear Bhagavad Gita. He's going out of the universe. Don't go out of the universe to hear Bhagavad Gita. Like the four Kumaras, they travel all over the universe to hear Bhagavatam. Okay. Yes, now you're in your home. So hear from their home. So, देखो ब्रह्मांड के बाहर चले क्या बात कर रहा था मैं. हाँ. So but Lord Krishna, when he comes, he very benevolently speaks Bhagavad Gita. And from there we can understand the nature of Krishna. This is very, very important. Whenever Lord is speaking about himself, that is for our highest benefit. If he comes and kills the demons, that may be good. But when he speaks about himself, we can understand his nature, and then that way we can develop our love for him. Okay. A person in knowledge may ask questions like a fool, saying, "You are the Supreme Brahman taking a human form. How are your form, birth, and activities different from those of ordinary people? What is the purpose of the birth, and when does it take place?" It should be understood that this is for the purpose of dispelling the doubt of the ignorant. So now, what does this commentary mean? It means very simple, that like Sanatana Goswami asked Mahaprabhu, "Ke ami kene amai jara tapatray?" Who am I? And why the threefold miseries are inflicted upon me? So it's not that, and Mahaprabhu says, you know all these things, but sadhur swabhav dradilaki, just for the sake of brevity, just for the sake of becoming, no, not brevity, for the brevity means clarity, but just for the sake of strictness, you are asking me these questions. Similarly, Vidurji will ask in Bhagavatam that people are trying for happiness, but they don't get happiness, they get misery. So all those basic questions, the answer to that Vidurji knows. But he asks out of humility, one, and also asked for others' benefit. Another example I'll give you. Just like the four Kumaras ask a question that the sense objects are constantly entering into the mind, and the mind is constantly entering into the sense objects. प्रश्न समझ में आ रहा है ना? Mind is always going toward the sense objects, and sense objects are going toward the mind. How to separate them? So now one intelligent devotee asked me a question. You told that in third chapter of Bhagavatam, first canto, that the four Kumaras are eternally liberated, and they are, means they are liberated souls, and they are brahmacharyam akhanditam. Their mind, from mind, body, and words, their celibacy is not disturbed. So that means their mind should not ever go for sense objects. So why they're asking these questions? Now you understand? They're asking this question for the welfare of people who are actually absorbed in sense gratification. कुछ ग्रहण करें इस बात को? Many times a devotee may know the answer to the question, but he asks for the sake of people who are new, who are sitting in the class. जन कल्याण के लिए एक प्रश्न कर रहा है, ठीक है? For the welfare of the common people. So that's why Arjuna is knowing, but is asking for the welfare of others. Vyasadev, see, Vyasadev had not asked. Vyasadev, yes, you can say, but yes, Tvam Bhavatma Bhutam, yes. Prichhamahe Tvatma Bhavatma Bhutam, that I am not able to ascertain the cause of my lamentation. Although he had already ascertained that because he has not described the pastimes of Krishna sufficiently. So that's why he was unhappy. But then again, he presents himself as a person who's ignorant, and that he asked Naraji. Okay, so we have several examples in Bhagavatam. Purport. Purport will be very easy to understand. Arjuna is an accepted devotee of the Lord, so how could he not believe Krishna's words? Okay. The fact is that Arjuna is not inquiring for himself, but for those who do not believe in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or for the demons who do not like the idea that Krishna should be accepted as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there are now Prabhupada clarifies it. For them only Arjuna inquires on this point, as if he were himself not aware of the personality of Godhead or Krishna. As it will be evident from the 10th chapter, Arjuna knew perfectly well that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the fountainhead of everything, and the last word in transcendence. Parabrahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. Of course, Krishna also appeared as the son of Devaki on this earth. How Krishna remained as the Supreme Personality of the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, the eternal original person, is very difficult for an ordinary man to understand. This is an important point, and that's why we should not hear the commentaries of ordinary people who are not in Parampara. I will not elaborate much. This is very much easily understood. People who are is easy for us because we're hearing in Parampara. Otherwise, we will have no conception of who Krishna is. Did you have any conception of what Krishna is or how his pastimes were enacted when you had not heard Prabhupada's books? Nothing, is it not? Rather, in videos also they show the light is coming from the light, a child is coming. Yes. If you see Krishna serial, I did not see the whole thing. Somebody was playing, or I don't know, I clicked it, something, a clip only. Although they had based their serial on Krishna because Srila Prabhupada, but they adulterated it. Yes, they had their own conceptions that there's a light, from the light the Lord manifests. So they are still ordinary people only, and we should not hear from them. Therefore, to clarify this point, Arjuna put this question before Krishna so that he himself could speak authoritatively. Why Lord can speak authoritatively? What did we hear? Because Supreme Lord, only he knows about himself. Finish. That Krishna as a supreme authority is accepted by the whole world, not only at the present but from time immemorial. But the demons alone reject him. Now, Do you agree that the whole world agrees Krishna? No. Then why Prabhupada is saying? Well, what is your conception of the whole world? Now you understand? What is your conception of the whole world? Do you think only Earth planet is the whole world? So, now you got it? Whole world means whole universe. It's not that it's only in the human beings that this ignorance is there, that who's God. कुछ ग्रहण कर रहे हैं. Demigods and everybody, they know who's God. Asuras also know who's God. Only thing they are called Asura is because they will say, we know who's God, we won't listen to him. What is that? Sanskrit? Vishnu Bhakta Smrtah Deva, Smrto Deva, Asuras Tatu Viparya. Viparya means opposite. Opposite means you know whom you are opposing. कुछ ग्रहण कर रहे हैं इस बात को. So इतनी हिंदी बोल दी ना. I know that you are God, Krishna, but I will not listen to you. That is Asura. And Sura means he knows who's God. Krishna. ये बात बोल रहे हैं. And time immemorial. Why Prabhupada used this word? Because when Surya was getting lessons from Krishna, he was knowing whom he was getting lessons from. अब clear हो गया? And the demons alone reject him. So anyway, since Krishna is the authority accepted by all, Arjuna put this question before him in order that Krishna would describe himself without being depicted by the demons who always tried to distort him in a way understandable to the demons and their followers. So you see how nice Srila Prabhupada slashes at them. They will, if you ever try to read any other subscription or say edition of Bhagavad Gita, you won't be able to understand a word because the person who's commenting also is not understanding a word what Krishna speaks. Now you won't be surprised. Won't you be surprised? He knows Sanskrit and all those things. Why he's not understanding? Because the person who's the source of knowledge has switched off the source of knowledge. He doesn't reveal the knowledge to him because he's not submissive. So devotee accepts whatever Krishna says, although he can't understand everything. And not only that, very nicely put by one devotee, even in his life, a devotee cannot understand why Krishna is doing it, what is happening in his life. But he accepts the will of the Lord that Krishna, whatever is doing, must be good for him because Krishna cannot desire anything bad for his devotee, even if he can't understand, just like Bhishma Dev and others. And Pandavas also. So this is the nature of devotees. So very nicely Prabhupada is saying that these people अपनी commentary खुद ही समझ सकते हैं. They can only understand their own commentary. Do you remember the way Mahaprabhu slashed Sarvabhaum Bhattacharya? He says, Vedanta Sutra I can understand, but when you explain I can't understand. That's quite a slashing, is it not? And like if you tell this to me, Prabhuji, the commentary I can understand, Prabhupada Tatparya I can understand, but what you are explaining is like a covering. You are covering everything. That will be a slashing only. So that's why they can't understand. So they can only understand what they want to say. अब पता नहीं आपने कभी महसूस किया नहीं, sometimes when the speaker is confused, he does not even know what he is speaking. ऐसा होता है. Sometimes speakers, though they don't know what they're speaking, sometimes they will speak one thing here and then they will speak something else there. It's called Purva Apurva. You speak first thing here and then second thing you speak differently. Then people who are listening become confused. Yes. So that's what happened with the people who are demoniac. They don't know what they're speaking about Krishna. A small example. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. Heard this? Brahman is truth, everything is false. Then they say, Sarva Khaludam Brahman, everything is Brahman. These two statements are very much favorite of the demonic family followers. So, do you understand how can we defeat? You say everything is Brahman, then Jagat is also Brahman. And you say Jagat is Brahman. Brahma Satya, Jagat is Mithya. Then where is the Jagat? So you see how these are confused? One hand they say everything is Brahman. Other hand, they say Jagat is mithya. If everything is Brahman, then Jagat is also Brahman. And if this Jagat is mithya, then you are situated in Jagat. What you're speaking also is in Jagat. That is also mithya. Why should I accept your words? So in this way, if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Mahaprabhu is defeating the Buddhist and other people who are basically demonic because they don't accept Vedas, they don't accept God. So they have so many faults in their philosophy. And you can read that in Madhya Leela, Mahaprabhu's South Indian Yatra. It is necessary that everyone for his own interest know the science of Krishna. I went very slowly. Now, this is very good. If I understand about Krishna's transcendence, then I'll go back to Godhead. So it is my responsibility that I should understand properly. That means I must exert myself to understand this knowledge. Just like when we have to qualify an examination, then it's our responsibility that we understand the subject matter nicely so that we can answer properly individually. And it's cheating nahi chalta. There is no copying in it. There is no prompting in it. That's what Prabhupada says, that everybody should sincerely understand Bhagavad Gita, understand the transcendental nature of Krishna and become liberated. Therefore, when Krishna himself speaks about himself, it is auspicious for all the worlds. Now you understand this point? And that's why we cannot claim that Krishna is very, conceited or proud when he speaks that he is God. Clear? It is for the welfare of others. To the demons, such explanations by Krishna himself may appear to be strange because the demons always study Krishna from their own standpoint, from their own reference frame. But those who are devotees heartily welcome the statements of Krishna when they're spoken by Krishna himself. Did you get this line? When Krishna says, I am, what is it? Aham sarvasya prabhavo, I am the source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matva matta smritir. Good. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva. Knowing this, how do they know this? Because they hear from Krishna. Iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samamita. Are you able to understand? When they hear from Krishna, Krishna's Supreme Personality of Godhead, or the representative of Krishna, and the representative can also speak only when they hear from Krishna. Makes sense? So they become convinced, they become very happy. Oh, I know who is my father, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they very heartily, very lovingly serve Krishna. So this knowledge will bring about love in the heart of the devotee. But this knowledge will not be palatable to a person who is demoniac. That's why this knowledge has not been given to a demonic person. The devotees will always worship such authoritative statements of Krishna because they are always eager to know more and more about him. This you will see how the more we discuss about Krishna, the more we read Bhagavatam, we always find something new and new information about Krishna because Krishna is endless. The atheist who consider Krishna an ordinary man may in this way come to know that Krishna is superhuman, that is Sachidananda Vigraha, the eternal form of bliss and knowledge, and that he is transcendental and that he is above the domination of the modes of material nature and above the influence of time and space. I hope you are understanding some of the points. One thing is that Krishna is superhuman means that he is not a human being. He is transcendental person. Then Prabhupada talks about eternal form of bliss and knowledge. That is also very clear. He is above the domination of modes of material nature, prakriti paraha. That also is very clear. But what is the meaning of beyond the influence of time and space? So you see, time clears everyone's memory.
Yes.
So but Krishna is not like that. He remembers what he spoke. And time limits a person in terms of, there are many ways. Try to understand this point. Time is limiting or controlling us. I cannot be a baby now. Obviously, I don't want to be a baby now also and in the future also. That's a fact. Baby means very helpless. But okay, but can I control not becoming an old man? And you can see my throat went bad in at one point of time, and if I want that this throat should be like this all my life, that also is not possible. It will become okay after some point of time. Do you agree?
Yes.
If you want to remain sick, you can't remain sick all life also, even if you want to. If you want to remain healthy all life, that also is not work. कुछ ग्रहण कर रहे हैं इस बात को. Fully time is controlling our situations. We are bounded by time. Krishna is not controlled by time. ईशस्य ही वशे लोको योषा दारू मयि यथा. The whole world is being controlled by, as under the supreme control of the supreme controller, just like the puppets in the puppet show. So space, you understand? I am here, but I cannot be in temple. We were discussing that. If I could be in temple in 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. also, then I could give class here also. But that doesn't work out here. I can be here, or I can be in temple, or can do. I am not able to do other services when I'm giving Gita class. Simple. But Krishna can simultaneously be here. He's in the temple. He's hearing the kirtan there. He's in your temple, in your home. Everywhere Krishna is present. In Sanskrit, it is called Desh Kal Aparichinna Vastu. Thus, a vastu, an object, which it is not limited by Desh, that means space, or Kal, which is time. ठीक है? A devotee of Krishna like Arjuna is undoubtedly above any misunderstanding of the transcendental position of Krishna. Why? When you start asking question why, it becomes quite irrelevant to you. Why? Because he hears from proper authority, and in that way, through his shastric faith, this faith which is born from hearing proper sources, he understands. He has no doubt about Krishna's transcendental position. Arjuna's putting this question before the Lord is simply an attempt by the devotee to defy the atheistic attitude of person who consider Krishna to be an ordinary human being, subject to the modes of material nature. So it's very clear what the answer Lord will give. We will see, not today for your pleasure. It will be discussed tomorrow. I'll just see. I hope it's not the second question. This is Lord speaking, so we'll discuss that tomorrow. Any questions? I don't think most of the devotees will know this shloka. I don't think any questions are there. No questions. So we shall stop here.
As we
Speak in the mic.
As we hear that demons are those who knows Krishna and they don't accept Krishna, they are against them. Nowadays, people are also not accepting Krishna as a god. So we consider them as a demons, or
They are demons only, because even if you tell them, see, most of the people in this world now are tatastha, neutral. They don't want to know about Krishna. They just want to enjoy their senses. But another class, but why they are like this? Because the leaders, they purposefully want to cover the God consciousness of the people. In every society, there is some kind of God consciousness. People are fearing God. Is it not? They worship not only Durga, they worship the natural elements also.
yes, in Himachal,
So many places. So there is some sense of God, but that is being curbed by this education system. So then, if not demon, that they will at least become neutral to the understanding of God, and just simply enjoy their senses, which will make their mind more dull, and then they will never think about God. But you see, the scientists see how there is very critical design in the universe, is it not? And design means designer, and they purposefully defy this point, and they try to bring these theories that Big Bang and all those things, which is all demoniac only, or this origin of species, which again are demonic. And you know that any person who would try to, any scientist who would try to defeat this theory, they will oust him from scientific, society. They will cancel all his license, everything they will cancel. Very, very dangerous, kind of mafia kind of thing. They want to just impose their thought on the society. And have you not heard when you preach, people say, you are saying this, but scientists are saying like that. They are following the people who are demonic. So they are followers of demonic. That's why Prabhupada says demons and their followers. It may not be that they have a horn here, but they have a horn inside probably in their intelligence, by which they don't understand Bhagavad Gita.
One more question. People generally don't accept the Guru Parampara. Like most of the people don't want because there is something the free will that will not comes through Guru Parampara.
People do accept Guru Parampara. Have you heard Newton's law? Have you discussed? Speak in the mic.
Yes, we have heard.
So, has Newton taught you Newton's law?
No.
But I must tell you, actually, Newton taught me Newton's law. Do you agree?
Yes.
Why you agree? No. Newton died 500 years back. He did not come to me personally to teach Newton's law. Do you agree? All of you must have read Newton's law. What does Newton's law say? F is equals to ma square. बेवकूफ कहेंगे, कुछ पता नहीं है. F is equals to ma. फिर फिजिक्स भी नहीं पढ़े ठीक से. Second law is ma square. हाँ. So Newton's law is F is equals to ma, but Newton did not teach you. So he passed on the knowledge in parampara and you're receiving. You don't say that I first bring Newton in front of me. I don't believe Newton existed then. So you see, and then so many things. Heisenberg uncertainty principle. The principle itself is uncertain. Is it not? So still you accept. So we see. And obviously our mathematician is here. You know I, imaginary number. You accept imaginary number, but we don't want to accept real God. We can accept imaginary number, but we can't accept real God. And do you know what is -1? -1 also is strange. -1, what is -1? कभी सोचे आप -1 का मतलब क्या होता है? It's strange, is it not? One you can understand, but -1 का मतलब क्या होता है? On its own, what does -1 mean? So I'm just saying all these things we are accepting, only accepting. How much do we understand? So the point is, when a person begins to hear in Guru Parampara, things will become very clear in his heart, and he will develop a natural faith that Guru Parampara is correct. If he immediately starts saying Guru Parampara, then they might feel that we are dominant upon them. So you explain to them something which they can understand, difference between human beings and animals, the science of soul. There you don't have to too much talk about Guru Parampara. And India, people accept it at least. Some Shastra, something like that. So once they develop at least some logical understanding what we're speaking, then they can have faith. And also, what the Shastra speaks, we can also confirm, because an objection can be raised. F is equals to ma can be confirmed. So many things from Shastra can be confirmed also. Just like the plants have life, has been confirmed by J.C. Bose. You know all these things. Prediction about Buddha, which is confirmed, about Ashoka, confirmed. And then the stages of a child in the mother's womb, that is very nicely explained in Bhagavatam. You can confirm from the third canto. From any guy, whatever, doctor who knows about these things. So, but you must remember that Shastra does not depend on the verification of the science. It is independent on itself. As a nice comment by one of very great professors, nice professor in IIT Kanpur, Dr. Ray, if I'm not wrong. He said only Upanishads have stood the test of science. They could not defy Upanishads yet. And they can never, because and there are certain knowledge in Upanishad which is beyond the experimental verification of science. So like this, when you speak, then they will have some belief in you. Then they can, what is speaking. I read in Padma Puran that Shiva told Bhagavad Gita to Parvati and Vishnuji to Lakshmiji and Krishna to Arjuna, from where Shiva and Vishnu get knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. I don't know. I am not Brahma. I don't know everything. I don't read other Puranas. I just read Bhagavad Puran and Bhagavad Gita. People sometimes pass any wrong information. They consider any person to be incarnation of Krishna. This makes us angry. What to tell them, or we should just ignore and don't preach to them? Well, very simple. We ask them, is there any Shastric evidence to what you're saying? And if not, then don't become angry. Becoming angry is not our job. If people are foolish, then what you can say? Okay. So अपनी वाणी को विराम देते हैं। श्री पारायण